Today I'm going to get a little vulnerable with you guys and show you one of my very first self-tapes ever. It's bad. And then I'm going to show you one of my recent self-tapes, one that actually I booked the job with. It was for SWAT, which is a television show right now that's on TV. So you can kind of see the differences. We're going to go into it. Hopefully you gain some confidence. You get some tips and tricks on self-tapes, on auditions in general, how to go from literally nothing to being a working actor. If you guys don't know my story, welcome to the channel. Okay, I started acting in Birmingham, Alabama, no connections. I had no experience, no idea what I was doing. And I went from that to stumbling through the dark and finding my way to Los Angeles, being on shows like Grey's Anatomy, SWAT, Mayans, Criminal Minds. And you can too. That's why I create this channel, to motivate you guys to actually try acting. Even if you suck right now, you can get better. This video is literally going to prove it, okay? If you're in the middle of nowhere, there are resources, which brings us to our sponsor. I can't believe I get to say that this video is sponsored by Backstage, y'all. I love Backstage. I used Backstage when I first started acting, and I am blown away by the ability Backstage gives people like you guys, hopefully, who are like me, who are in the middle of nowhere, the ability to submit themselves. They are one of the oldest casting websites. They started in 1960. You can submit yourself from anywhere. You do not need an agent to start, because I'm guessing you don't have an agent. I did not have an agent, and actually Backstage can help you find an agent. I found my agent through Backstage back in the day, not my current agent, but back in the day when I was first starting out being like, what is acting? How do I do it? Backstage helped me so much. When I first signed up for Backstage, I was so dedicated to getting my first part, and I love that you can upload as many headshots, as many like reels and footage of you acting, so that you can get as many opportunities as possible. Also, there's no limit on the amount of times you can submit yourself. Get up every morning, submit yourself for all of the roles, and they even have roles from HBO, Netflix, Disney, a lot of the big companies, and also smaller companies, because what you want as a beginning actor is to go for those smaller roles to build your resume, so that one of those big HBO, or like me being on Grey's Anatomy, I can't believe that I was on Grey's Anatomy, but I got there because I booked a lot of little small roles that got me a reel, that got me all the footage to actually book something bigger like Grey's Anatomy and SWAT, which is the video we're gonna watch today. And so I just wanna thank Backstage for sponsoring this video. You guys should sign up for Backstage today. The link is in my description, and if you sign up, use my code Hannah5, and you can get your first month for $5, okay? I think $5 is an investment you can make into your acting career. Now to the juice of this episode. Let's just do it. Let's just bite the bullet. Here is one of my first self-tapes. Now, back up. Let me just say, this self-tape is what I used, and I tell you guys to do this, for a reel. I did not have a reel when I first started. This is the self-tape that wasn't very good, okay? But I used this as my reel, which is why, like, when you start, you just gotta start. So here we go. I'm just gonna play it.
Lindsay, today's the deadline to enter the academic decathlon. Mr. Ross said you didn't turn in your application.
Millie, I'm not entering.
What? Why not?
Because I don't want to.
Lindsay, what happened to you? I mean, why are you doing this?
I'm not doing anything.
That's what I mean. Why are you a freak all of a sudden? What, do you think it's not cool to be smart anymore?
I don't think it's cool to be anything anymore. Look, I think it's great that you're doing the academic decathlon. Just don't judge me because I don't want to do it.
But why don't you want to?
Because I don't care anymore. I don't care about being smart or doing the right thing. And I don't care about college or school records or anything anybody tells me I'm supposed to care about it. There's no point. So unless you want to have a cigarette with me, we're done talking.
Now, as you see, first of all, I had totally different color hair. I looked much younger, but the quality of the video, not that great. It was literally in one of my acting coach's apartments. But But that being said, right, I used this tape when I had a major agent, when I was going out for auditions. This was my reel, y'all. I did not have footage. Oh, baby monitor, battery low. I did not have footage of me acting, and I used this to get me auditions. So right now, if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I can't get into acting because I don't have any footage of me acting and it's hard to get a part, film a little self-tape. Film a scene, get with a partner, read a scene. This is what I do in my career coaching all the time. I help people pick scenes. I help them figure out what characters they would be good for. I help them film the scenes. That's what I had someone do for me, and it literally changed my life. So don't feel like you need to have everything perfect and professional when you're first starting. You can literally start with a self-tape like that. Okay, now let's watch my self-tape for SWAT. I booked this. I filmed this in my living room here in Los Angeles. Now, actually, no, let's watch the video and then I'm gonna get into some tips and tricks and kind of show you the difference between the self-tapes and why one is bookable and maybe one really isn't as much. Okay, here we go.
Please.
Make it stop. I'll be good.
Are you hurt?
No, my eyes hurt.
Don't look. What happened in here?
I heard the bishop judging him, and then the gun went off so loud and so close, and then the door shut. And then the boy didn't answer anymore. I knew he'd transition.
Was Zoe here?
The bishop took her back to the kingdom. His love shines on her. I actually am really proud of that self-tape. I know for a lot of people it's hard to watch yourself and say that you're proud, but I feel like I did a really good job, and there are a few things in this self-tape that I actually feel like contributed to me doing really well. So back up to that first self-tape. When I was filming self-tapes then, I did not focus intently on the beginning and the end of the scene, all right? At the beginning of the scene, I knew, like, I had heard, oh, you need a moment, but really taking that and owning it and being creative and having a moment before the scene starts, you can make it up. I do that all the time now. It will not be in the script, and I will say lines, I will make it up, I'll even leave it in the tape sometimes, the improv at the beginning of the scene, and it really pulls you into the scene because you have to stop and think, when this scene is happening, there's been so much going on in your character's life before you enter the scene, enter the audition. So I would, if I were you guys, when you're auditioning, have a really big first moment, because also, side note, guys, like, everything is on tape right now. All the auditions are gonna be on tape, doing self-tapes. And so, you know, these casting directors are looking at tons of self-tapes quickly, and if you don't capture them in that first, I'd say 15 seconds, not that sometimes they don't give you more, but like, you need to capture their attention in that first little bit. So that moment before, and then the moment at the end, you can improv something, or just, don't just like be like, and scene, and it's done. Live in the moment in the end, improv a little bit, it will make your scenes so much better. Okay, I would also say lighting and sound. Now look, people book things, major TV shows, major movies in their living room with an iPhone. That's so true. But I do feel like when they can hear you clearly, they can see you clearly, and it doesn't have to be the most professional self-tape in the world, but it should look good. You should look good. You're presenting who you are to the casting director. You want them to know you're professional. As you can see in the second self-tape, it's much higher quality. And you can get this stuff off Amazon, guys. Like, I have a whole like cheat sheet of what you can buy off of Amazon to make a really good self-tape setup at your house. This is why you can do acting wherever. Even if you're in Alabama, like I was, you can absolutely start acting because you can just have your own self-tape set up at home. I would also say a big difference in the second self-tape is I've had a good bit more training. I have had a lot of classes, a lot of coaching, one-on-one coaching sessions. That is something I feel like is so valuable, finding an acting coach to one-on-one coach with you when you get an audition, so that you can learn different things. I've learned so many techniques from the different acting coaches out here in LA, and you guys just Google acting coach in LA and you can literally Zoom. You can Zoom with me if you want to, but I do think I'm more of a career coach. I will coach you on scenes if you want, but I'm more of a career coach. I'll help you the ins and outs of how to get an agent, how to do all like the business side of things, I recommend seeing someone like me, obviously, self-promotion, but finding an acting coach, totally separate. Find a good acting coach that you vibe with, that you like. You're gonna learn so much from them. Your auditions are gonna be so much better. And that is a huge difference. And the second scene that you're looking at is I have had way more training. Training is so important. That being said though, I don't think you need to go to college and spend thousands of dollars to get training. There's amazing online training. Now, college isn't a terrible idea. If you're going to Juilliard, please go. If you're going to a very prestigious acting school, please go. If you want to go for theater, go. But for TV and film, you don't need it. The last thing that I will say about the second audition, and this is something that totally changed as I've gotten older, as I've done more and more auditions, my mindset has changed. When I first started acting, my mindset was very much like, what does the casting director want? Read the breakdown, read the description, morph into the character. Don't get me wrong, I do feel like as an actor, you should morph into the character because that's so fun. I love doing that. But for me, I bring a lot more of myself to the roles. I don't go into acting roles anymore thinking, what do they want? I more so go into, what do I want? How can I be creative? How can I have fun with this? How can, during the audition, I explore and enjoy myself during the audition? And that brings yourself to the tape. It brings a more authentic tape. It's a more bookable tape because it's not just like constructing like what they want, what you think they want. It's more of bringing your creativity and your talent to the audition, which that is actually what they want. A lot of time casting directors, they know what they want, but they don't know, or producers, writers, they know the idea of what they want, but it doesn't have the full body of a character, and that is what you bring as an artist. So I hope you liked this video today. It was a little vulnerable showing you guys that self-tape, but I hope that you guys were encouraged. Remember, you can get into acting, guys. It is not a far-fetched, crazy idea. It's something that is definitely tangible. You can have a career in acting if you put your mind to it. Obviously, it's not a linear path. That's why I make these videos, because acting can be really discouraging. It's not like being a doctor where you just go to school and follow the steps and X, Y, and Z, and then you get a career. It's a very non-linear career path, but that's why hopefully I am here to help you guys, guide you through your career of being an actor. So that's all I have for you guys today. Remember, you can sign up for Backstage, get your first month for $5. The link is in the description. And if you guys are interested in career coaching with me, you can always shoot me an email at contacthannahbamberg@gmail.com, or you can just go ahead and book a session in the link below. And give this video a thumbs up so more people who are interested in acting can see this video, and so that like I can get all the views, right? Okay. Bye guys, I will see you in the next video.